Looks like we're trying to hold on the Nasdaq. Like to see if I can get along. And then crude is bounced, and now it's retraced in. We'll see if it can start sticking in a range. Go through the charts real quick. 4 hour extended, so we had this little sell-off. I think the sell-off's done. Let's see if we get some retracements. We'll see how this holds in the 15-minute. Really want to start to see the bands flatten out and start to hook up. Let's look at the 1 minute. Starting to get there, man. If it could come down to 82-ish, 84. Definitely 84-ish. It came to that first band, it bounced a little bit, and then it went through. So looking at that number, a call out 92. I got some, I don't know if it's just fast moving or what was going on, but the fill price was not to my liking. What you want to see it do for bottoming process, to see it back and fill in this area. Let me expand it out. Let's even zoom into the 1 minute. So when you're thinking of we're in a long-term uptrend, you can see how it's like it falls and it holds and it grinds up and then it falls and it holds. And you can see how there's support levels that are bought in. So that's a little bit longer term guys that are buying in at that area. We'll see if this holds. Consumer confidence came in worse than expected. Usually the Michigan consumer confidence seems to be always upbeat, but that was a rare miss. Right, we'll see if we get a signal on the NASDAQ. Yeah, so we were just talking about the fill prices and stuff. So when you look at the NASDAQ and how fast it moves around, and I've been noticing today it has 2 or 3 tick spread, which is a lot. Still seems to be pressure though. Crude seems like it got its sell off over with. Let's look at the 1 hour. Pretty decent bounce. Let's see here. All right, I'd like to see it hang in this area. So you can see like days like yesterday. Let me stretch that out. Actually, let's look at that. Let's look at that tick chart. It's that tick range chart. See how we're in this kind of support area, 83 to 90. Let's see here. Let's see if a crude short can set up here. I'd like to actually get it over the band and then get a sell. You could see on how the candle keeps forming that there's buyers that keep stepping in. So the up move candles are there's a bigger push to them. Let's see. The thing about this price action on the NASDAQ, it's made its low with that news, bounced, tested it. This is the bounce. It actually broke out, but that breakout candle failed. So it's kind of a tough spot. Got a little bit of a spurt there, crude and S&P. Let me fix this chart. Now we've got 3 higher lows. Really need to take that out. The momentum system just hit. It looked poor S&P we've neglected. So you could see how that was. I think I got 5. I might as well take that. Guess not. 88. Come on, one more push up. $88. Nah, couldn't quite get 5. But you could see on the momentum system, as soon as that hits, it's a more trending momentum system that like it pretty much spiked right away. Like to see if it can work into a position. Better trigger area. The thing is, it's fighting. So that system yesterday on an up move when everything was going up, obviously when the lines are going up, it's a much better move. At least back to break even on the NASDAQ. See if we can build in here and if it's going to be. It wouldn't surprise me if it gets back up to here. See if it can break out now. Let's see what we can do on crude. Round tripped it, broke down and came all the way back. I really have to check for news on that because that is. Not seeing much. If you have a position on with if you were long, you trim exposure here, but this is definitely See if we can get it to pull back and get another entry. I apologize if I'm a little bit slower today, but I had a rough day yesterday, so thanks everyone for their condolences. It's rough when a 30-year-old woman dies, so, but such is life. Yeah, I'm not seeing any news. Oh, maybe it sounds like there was some news out of Saudi Arabia, but we'll see. Go to the 5 minute on crude. There goes another push in the Nasdaq. But you see my point. You know, if you look back at yesterday, if you ever see that, you just right click and hit reload chart. You know, you could see where float up, push up keeps pushing higher, where now it's kind of struggling a little more. So, but that's typical. If you look at this kind of basing range, blow off top, retrace below it, you've got a ton of support of people who bought in here. Obviously, they're jumping in, so. Industrial production came in minus 0.3, fifth drop in a low, longest down streak since the recession. Seems like it still wants to go higher. But you see how the market also, like we were talking about that 92 level this morning, and now we're trading 92. So that's why I like to use like anchor prices, being able to enter at the right area, um, being able to find a price area and then be able to enter in at a better level. Market's kind of stuck here. All right, let's see. Let's cover bonds. So 1 hour chart, you can see it's been plugging along, so it's definitely got the market going. Starting to get some breathing in these candles, so there might be some bigger upside, but in 10 minutes it's gone another 2 or 3 points. And crude has actually filled that gap too. Almost complete round trip. Should be able to get a short coming pretty soon. Probably at least
1 to 2 more 5-minute bars, so
it's definitely printing pretty strong though. Dollar straight up. What are you trading, Eduardo? S&P still? You got a comeback. That's good. Keep getting in there. Let me change that back to the 5 minute. Forgot, left that at 4. 4 hours an eternity for us. See if the NASDAQ can break through one more time. Seems like the upside's limited at this point. So the S&P, so this slope is down, 4 hour, up, flat, down, covers them all. So it'll probably be choppy the rest of the day. So I think you could probably lean on some different areas. I think there could be a trade setting up for crude. But typically when you see a move like that, such straight line, well, usually rallies, they take a little bit more time to turn, but obviously you get that V bottom. It's more prevalent on the bottoming process than the topping. You'll get double tops, stuff like that. Or grinding like the you're starting to see a topping pattern. Although this is a pretty decent breakout. See how it closes though, if it's a failed breakout or not on the S&P. This NASDAQ is just sitting there. This is a more aggressive sell spot. Wow, crude oil is just it's dragging the whole market up now. Um, a level for the Nasdaq, I think at this point it's gonna have to wait for that inevitable pullback, maybe down to 87. I mean, it could do crude oil spike to the band, but it's just higher risk there. The other idea, what you can do is get in there and chip away, like you're so. One of the comments was being gun shy. So if you get down, what you have to still keep focused on is your trading plan and your trading system. So you kind of just lean on that and say, well, if X and Y is true, then enter here. Maybe even do it on smaller size. Sometimes a winning day is getting back to break even, you know, like if you're have a bunch of trades and you get back to break even. It's just such an aggressive spike at the end there. A lot of times too, you can tell the difference in on if the trend has changed. So we've had this down move today in the short time frame. If this doesn't give that much back here, that's still bullish price action. So that shows that that's going to be a better, a more bullish, better price action. No, no. Every single trade that I have is a system trade. If it's either um, I'll pull the ones from today. I have to Skype it over because that team viewer just takes forever. And where's the other one? Yeah, I'm actually gonna, I made a momentum Skype, but for some reason it doesn't. I'll get it going on the weekend. think is that 4 trades total. I don't know if it's the ads or the new version or what, but this Skype is just drives me crazy. Might be this computer. I guess I should occasionally shut it down, you know. So you could see first one was crude 856, 856 in 4 seconds. Although I think this clock's off a little bit. Um, that was the buy at 22. That was there. Next one was a crude buy here. Although I didn't get filled on that one. That was fast moving market. Everybody else caught that first one, which was a winner. The second one was a small loser. So that's 923, 923, and that's message sent. So that's literally the program that sends out the message to everybody. And then that was the one at 1041 that we just had. And then NASDAQ, 1041, 1041. That was the main dot system that I have. That's more of a momentum and trending system. And these three were contrarian. Seat of your pants is probably not a way to trade. No. Here comes that bigger push now. Although now it's just 3 points, so definitely fighting, fighting the short-term trend. But what typically happens, you get that really quick spurt, short squeeze. Jerry, you had mentioned about buying at 91. Let's go to the 1 minute. So you were probably looking at this lower end of the range? Because usually when you get this slow grind higher, you don't want to buy breakouts, you want to buy pullbacks. Pretty strong bounce there. Now we'll see with crude. Let's see. It's kind of a big blow off top candle. And then from candlesticks, that's a bearish engulfing. We'll see if it get a decent down move. I think it actually holds in here on crude. And this is just a breather in stocks right now. But like I've always said, you really like to have the NASDAQ stronger. So from a mentality of trade management, combine management, here's how I look at it. You have X amount of dollars to be made. That's almost like, you can break it down into a daily range, or you can kind of look at it at more of a weekly range. Daily's tough because um, what happens if there's no movement or opportunity for you to make that particular daily range? Or things happen. Like I didn't really trade yesterday with the personal stuff, so it's like, um, there's different areas, different possibilities. So looking at minus 186 on Monday, plus 720 on Tuesday, plus $2 on Wednesday, plus $5 yesterday. So at this point for the week, plus four something, like to get at least a couple $100 in to get that's almost half a combine for the smaller one, which a bunch of people are doing. So I just sent another email waiting to hear back from Top Step about about getting some combines. So the game plan would be to get in starting next week and start having some 100, 200, $300 days, and then letting the other bigger system really hit out of the park. I'm still working on the drawdown parts of it to keep it less than $200-$300. It's usually crude that does all the heavy lifting. The Nasdaq's in chop range. So like I'm looking right now, and that's well, you could see. Wait, I'll pull it up on the. So you could see the P&L on the main dot system is down 3.3 Nasdaq points at that point. Although that trade made two, so it's come back. Basically at break even right now. So when you get this kind of move and chop, it either filters out or just loses a point here and there. So crude system's a different story. Actually, just exited a trade. So just exited. It was 11:09. It's a 1 minute. So, but that's the P&L for the current system that's just running. And I always. So here's how I do it. I run the system in a baseline mode, and then I can tell what systems are working, what systems aren't working. If it's a trend day, if it's a choppy day, the choppy systems will be doing better. The trending systems will get beat up. Obviously, with this big crazy move in crude today, it's up 116 ticks in just the 1 minute system, just crude, which is $1,100. You just add a zero, it's $10 a tick. So, in order to latch onto that system to be able to handle it in the combine, either A, get profits up intraday and then have that system enter, or have I'd really like to have a bigger winning day on Monday or Tuesday if there's a good move, and then be able to work into these type of systems to have a huge winning day. Because then once you pad that and you're working on, as I always say, casino chips, that's when you're in the driver's seat, you're in control. It's just it's where you want to get yourself into that position. So once I can get that position some point next week, then you can take a little bit more risk. You could even start handling event risk, meaning trading around some of these numbers, not necessarily the ones that are not allowed, but some of these other numbers, it still moves pretty good. And now we're getting the sag down into this range. Let me pull up. Go through some. Market kind of just fell out of bed. Dollar index had this monster 1 year rally, biggest I've ever seen in my whole career. This dollar rally finally broke down, and then now this has really coincided with that oil move also. Seems to be trying to bottom. Let's go look at the markets. Dow hit, I think Dow and S&P right at near all-time highs yesterday. I'm not sure if they were closing highs. It looks like it could be. But NASDAQ, Russell, bearish divergences, Nikkei, Europe, DAX. DAX has been the darling. It's definitely heavier. We're right back down at that super low VIX area again. Oil seems to be running out of steam here. Metals have been really moving. Grains are still pretty weak. Bonds are bouncing. And then there's the dollar. What's the other? I was looking at my rail traffic charts. Let me pull those up. They actually changed them, but I like it. I guess I got to keep it over here. So now they broke them down by railroad, although I'm just going to do all. So it's one mean line. This is last year, this gray line. So you could see usually this time of the year it's ramping and ramping and ramping up, and even these two lines, and you can see how they started their little rally here, and then they're already rolling over. So we'll see. Commodities are hard because they're not necessarily economically sensitive. So it doesn't seem like stuff's kind of sputtering already when it should be booming. The big pickup now this time of the year, and then all the way up until Christmas. Any market questions, anyone? Money management techniques? Talk about the horoscope? Just kidding. Oh, yeah. I didn't. Seriously, I half the time don't. I mean, I'll just say something and I don't. I mean, I remember saying it now, but it's just that's kind of my mental back and forth. Let me see if I have another. Oh, that's a crazy looking NASDAQ chart, but what is it? That's a different system. Here we go. So the way I look at it, you put it in context. Here's a 15-minute. You've had your bounce. Now it's going to retest on the 15-minute. How does that going to look on the 5-minute? So we got into this area and then it sold off. Now, if this is going to hold, I look at, I was basically looking at the 87 number, which was, I think it was on this 5-minute. This band here, that's 84, but in that area, 87 to 84. With the NASDAQ, you kind of almost have to give it a range because it is. Yeah, he definitely had a good life. BB King passed away almost 90, so that's a pretty amazing life. So I look at these patterns and I say, okay, we had this big sell off, the bounce, so I'm looking for that bounce. Now I'm looking for the 15-minute retest, so that's how it looks on a 5-minute. Step back one more time frame. First major sell-off in this kind of, this was such a strange floater move. It was kind of almost eerie how it just floated. No volume. They said it was super low volume yesterday. So we're having a pullback on the 1 hour. The 15-minute, we had our pullback bounce. Now we're testing. If we can hold here, then I would look for another. We'll look for a buy entry. Oxford got 88. Ideally, you like to see it hold in here. If it really broke down here, it might be making a new low. So, got to watch it. There goes the push lower. So the next spot's that bottom band. I'd be surprised if a big rout. I mean, it is Friday. A little bit rainy here, but not too bad. It's clearing up. In Chicago, and this time of the year, you're at one of the baseball fields or parks or golf course. Usually the pit would, or the trading offices would just be completely clearing out by noon. So now the market seems like wants to do a little bit more aggressive pullback. So if I see anything going forward in the rest of the day, I'll just jump in the room on the mic. Like to see this hold. Like to get another shot at a buy. And crude, I would think would probably be in a range between here and here for the rest of the day. Okay. Okay, thanks, Jerry. Yeah, there'll definitely be some NASDAQ trades coming. All right. Thanks a lot. Okay. We'll see you guys on the wrap up call. Thanks.